Namaskar, welcome to your own geography class. We are discussing chapter number 2 and in the continuation series we are going to discuss 3 remaining physical features of India. First 3 we have already discussed. Which 3? Quite obviously we have the list with us. So we have discussed about Himalayan mountains in first class. In the second and the prior class to this we have discussed about northern plains and peninsular plateau. So today is the time to discuss the remaining 3 physical features of India subcontinent. So we are going to discuss about desert, coastal plains and islands. So let's start our today's class with the discussion of the first topic, that is about the Indian desert. Being an Indian citizen, who doesn't know where is the desert present in India? In the western part of India, and if we have to answer the state, so the state is Rajasthan. So western part of Rajasthan occupies the Indian desert known as Thar desert. So let's read about more features of this geographical feature of India. So it lies towards the western margins. When we talk about margin words, so we are talking about either or edge side, corner side. So we are talking about the boundary corner part. It means it lies by the international boundary itself. So it lies towards the western margins of the Aravalli Hills. Now we are talking about the western part of the Aravalli Hills. It is an undulating means smooth. So it is an undulating sandy plain covered with sand dunes. Sand dunes, these are to be known as the mountains of hills, not to be considered with the authentic term mountains, having peaks and having rocky surface. Hereby, I just want to explain you the term dune. So these are kind of, or its appearances of mountains of sand, particularly to be considered as, and इनको हिंदी में बोलते हैं रेत के टीले. So sand dunes receives very low rainfall, almost 150 millimeter per year only. Then it is having and it has arid climate. Arid means dry climate. So it remains hot and dry throughout the year. But yes, there is a specific condition of the deserts also. Whether we are talking about the Indian desert or we talk about any other desert of the world, and particularly the hot desert. Yes, there are 2 types of deserts, hot and cold, and hereby we are talking about hot desert. So within the hot deserts, the diurnal temperature fluctuates a lot. It means during day it can rise up to 47, 48 and in the prominent cases it rises up to 50. But during night it suddenly drops and it can go to 0 degrees Celsius also. So it does receives and it experiences arid climate, dry climate with low vegetation cover. It means less vegetation. Less vegetation means less the wildlife also. So dry cover, vegetation is less and the wildlife is also less. Streams, so whatever streams do appear within these sand dunes within the Thar desert or the Indian desert, they do appear just in rainy season particularly, and let me tell you, rainfall occurs least in this area. So streams appear during the rainy season and soon after they appear they do disappear immediately as well, because there is no further closeness or proximity to the sea or water body. If there will be the proximity of nearby water body, so these streams can flow towards that particular water body and can add up their water in that. But we are talking about Thar desert, so not at all having any kind of proximity. Proximity means closeness to any kind of water body. So reason why do they disappear so soon? Because they do not have enough water to reach the sea. And the only water body that is present in the Thar desert is the Luni river. So the only large river in this region that too receives water in the rainy season itself. Other than that, it remains dry for most part of the year. Then moving ahead with the same topic itself, Barkhans and longitudinal dunes. So 2 specific features. We are talking about physical features that are present in the Indian desert. So first is Barkhans. So what are Barkhans? You can see over here the crescent shape. You know, the crescent word is also related to the moon itself, crescent shape of the moon. So I have drawn it as C. If I have to invert or convert the C and the upside words, so you can see this will be the shape of the crescent part. So crescent shaped dunes are there. They cover large area and they are present in the longitudinal form. Long ranges of dunes are there. Although ranges word is again to be considered in the mountain case, but just for the explanatory part of longitudinal dunes, I want to say that longitudinal sand dunes are present in a form of range or chain. Then more prominently near the Indo-Pakistan boundary. So this desert region lies by the Indo-Pakistan boundary. So these longitudinal dunes are prominently present in this particular region itself. So that was all about the case of Indian desert. Entire features we have discussed, starting from the physical feature present in Thar Desert, Burkhan's longitudinal dunes, and then we have discussed about its climate also, along with vegetation and wildlife. It's the time to discuss the coastal plains. Remember, in the previous class we have discussed about Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. So the plains hereby we are going to talk about and we are going to discuss about are to be present on the western part of Western Ghats and on the eastern part on the Eastern Ghats itself. How so? Let me tell you. So peninsular plateau is a flanked, it is expanded by stretch or covered by actually stretch of narrow coastal strips. So if I have to explain you with the help of simple diagram, this is blue and yellow is going to look good on this. So Western Ghats in continuity, Eastern Ghats in the split up. So in between region, so lying in between the Eastern Ghats and the coastal area lies the Eastern Plains, Eastern Coastal Plains. And the plains lying between Western Ghats and the Western Coast area is to be known as Western Plains or Western Coastal Plains. So physical location on the map. Let's go with the descriptive part. It runs along the Arabian Sea on the west and Bay of Bengal on the east. So plains are further divided into two that I have already explained you. This is the water body Arabian Sea. This is the water body Bay of Bengal. So Arabian Sea on the west and Bay of Bengal on the east part. And as I am adapting this method of explanation with the help of the map, you can do the same, but not for the explaining part, for the understanding part. Consider the map, keep the map nearby you, and of course the filled one, not the vacant one. It will help you to understand more prominently. And this is the location that I have already helped you with the explanation of the map work. So Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, in between lies the Eastern Coastal Plains and in between lies the Western Coastal Plains. Now some prominent locations on this. There are 3 beaches present on the Western Coastal Plains and there are not exactly to be considered beaches, but yeah, these are the prominent coastal areas of the Western Coastal Plains, and this is particularly the prominent, actually to be considered one, but one more lies over here by the Odisha side, that is known as Northern Sircar. So Northern Sircar is quite a stretched, coastal area, but in here, so these are known as Coromandel Coast, Malabar Coast, Kannada Coast, in Hindi Kannada, in English Kannada Coast, Konkan Coast. Konkan Coast lies by the Mumbai Goa boundary territory. Kannada lies parallel to Karnataka, and Malabar Coast is the western coast, extreme western coast, southwestern coast to be considered, lying in the state Kerala, and the first rainfall received by India's subcontinent is received by this Malabar coast on the western coastal plains of Kerala itself. Coromandel Coast lies on the Tamil Nadu's territory, Tamil Nadu's coastal area. So this is the explanation of this map. Moving ahead, western coast. So now the explanatory part, that was the explanatory part with the help of map itself. Western coast, sandwiched because it lies between, so sandwiched between Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. We have discussed these are narrow plains. As compared to the western coast, eastern coast is more wide stretched. So consists of 3 sections. I have already informed you: northern part, central part and southern stretch. In the northern lies the Konkan, that is coast, lies on Mumbai Goa territory. Central stretch is to be considered for Kannada plains or Kannada coast. Then southern stretch comprises Malabar coast. And again the same thing is lying on this map that I have already explained you. Moving ahead with the eastern coast part, so plains along the Bay of Bengal side, they are wide and more level. Level means having somewhat plain areas, but in the western coast, the things are quite different. Width is less and they are not that particularly level. They are kind of, having uneven land surface over there. Northern part is known as Northern Sarkar, I was telling you, and extreme southern part is known as Coromandel Coast. Then large rivers. On the Western Ghat, there is no such prominent flow of any particular river from the, southern India part. There can be, but I am talking about the prominent river flow. But on the eastern coast, there are the flows of various prominent rivers. And if we talk about prominent, four particularly, Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri, four prominent rivers of southern India. Besides in that, there are numerous others. So due to the presence of these prominent rivers along with their tributaries and distributaries, several deltas are formed by the eastern coast part. That is why this particular eastern coast is more fertile as compared to the western coast. So large rivers have formed extensive delta on this coast, and the four prominent rivers are these that I have already named. Then Lake Chilika, another information of the eastern coast part. So Lake Chilika lies on the eastern coast. It is an important feature along the eastern coast. It is the largest saltwater lake in India. Then it lies in Odisha and to the south of the Mahanadi Delta, unique for its migratory birds. Moving ahead, the island part. So that was all the information related to the coastal plains, eastern coastal plains and western coastal plains. I'm not saying the eastern to be in this part, just for I have this habit of using my hands. So eastern of course lies by this side and western lies by the opposite side. The islands, two prominent islands, and who doesn't know their names? Andaman Nicobar Islands. Yes, now I am pointing right, because Andaman and Nicobar Islands lies in the Bay of Bengal by the east side of India, by the eastern coastal plains and by the eastern Ghats itself in the water body. And your other part, that is of Lakshadweep group of islands, they lies in Arabian Sea by the western water body, that is Arabian Sea itself. So India has a vast, huge mainland. Besides this, the country has two groups of islands, Lakshadweep Islands and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. This is the location, physical location. In the Bay of Bengal, Andaman, the northern part is known as Andaman and the southern part is known as Nicobar Islands. Yeah, Lakshadweep doesn't have any north and south because they are two, Andaman and Nicobar, and this is unitedly one. Although both these are known as group of islands, so several groups of islands are over there. One extra information, there is only one active volcano present in the Indian territory, and that particular active volcano is present on one of the islands of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and the name of the island is Barren Island. And talking about the Lakshadweep one, it was having some previous names we are going to discuss right now, but before than that, one is with us, Minicoy. It was also known as Minicoy. Let's move ahead with the discussion. Lakshadweep Island. So it lies close to the Malabar coast, Kerala part. Yes, it is composed of small coral islands. Coral, they are particularly the marine animals, marine tiny organisms considered in the animals category itself. And from these corals itself, when these corals die, due to their decomposition and sedimentation part, they form the coral reef. Very beautiful, colorful also, and they are also colorful itself. That is why they make the colorful reefs. Earlier, Lakshadweep was known as Lakadweep, Minicoy and Amandeep, and it was renamed finally to Lakshadweep Islands in 1973. So each and every information comprises either or particular questions or set of questions also. So kindly consider all the statements given in my each and every slide as one or two or set of multiple questions. Answers are with you over here itself. Now the area covered by the Lakshadweep Island is of 32 square kilometer, and the administrative headquarter is Kavarati, and also the capital of the island or group of islands Lakshadweep, that is Kavarati. Great diversity of flora and fauna is found over here. Flora means vegetation, fauna means wildlife. So Piti Island is one of the island that is uninhabited. There is no residence, or we can consider least people or no population resides on this island, because this is a bird sanctuary island. On this island there is a presence of a bird sanctuary. Moving ahead with the corals itself, told you na, tiny organisms present in the water and to be considered as marine animal itself. So coral polyps are short lived. The corals are short lived, they don't have long life. These are microscopic organisms, can't be seen with the naked eyes. It needs tools, equipments related to see the tiny creatures. They live in colonies and they flourish in shallow, not of greater depth, shallow, mud free and warm waters almost by the seashore side itself. And they secrete means they discharge, they release calcium carbonate from their body itself, as plants do release. What do they release? Oxygen, that is beneficial for us. Not only beneficial, we are living just because we do have the regular supply of the oxygen from the plants itself. So they are releasing, as we do release CO2, that is the life saving gas for the plants itself. So similarly they do release, they do discharge calcium carbonate. Then coral secretion, whatever this calcium carbonate is released by these corals along with their skeletons, dead bodies from coral deposits form reefs. And there are three particular reefs known in this Lakshadweep region. Barrier Reef, also known as Great Barrier Reef of Australia. So altogether, along with the Lakshadweep, that is also known as Coral Island. Yes, one more information, as corals are found in abundance on this Lakshadweep Island, so it is also known as Lakshadweep / Coral Island. So only one Coral Island present in India, that is Lakshadweep. We do have some prominent examples all over the world along with Lakshadweep. So fringing reef, then atolls, that is circular or horseshoe shaped. Do horses wear shoes? No, we are not talking about their shoes, we are talking about the footprint that looks like the shoe. So that is horseshoe shaped. Talking about the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So this is located in the Bay of Bengal. We have already discussed. This is the elongated chain of island. Huge and long chain of islands, and to be considered only the longest one, because Lakshadweep group of islands are scattered, and these are also scattered but in the chain form. They extends from north to south, bigger in size, more numerous and scattered. Lakshadweeps are completely scattered here and there, but they are structured longitudinally. So their stretching is from the north towards the south. They are divided into two broad categories, Andaman in the north and Nicobar in the south. I have already told you few of these informations prior than this. So it is believed that these islands are an elevated, lifted portion of submarine mountains. If you don't know, or if you have forgot for a while, it means right now it's not clicking to your mindset. So let me inform you, as the relief features are found on the earth's surface, that is land prominently. So we do have the occurrence of physical features like mountains, plateaus, hills. These are also present inside the water body. So we are talking about that part. So it is believed that the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are the elevated portion of submarine, the land that is submerged beneath the water. So submarine mountains, they have great strategic importance for the country. They have great diversity of flora and fauna. Strategic importance as to be considered the midpoint, combining the eastern part of the world. Then it lies close to the equator, and of course any part of the land lying close to the equator will experience equatorial climate. It means rainfall occurs almost throughout the year due to the climatic condition that comprises the temperature particularly, followed by rainfall itself. Thick forest cover. So Andaman Nicobar does have thick forest covers. India's only active volcano, told you, found on Barren Island in Andaman and Nicobar island. So not the authentic image, but still just to inform you that volcanic occurrence is there within the Indian territory itself. Significance of India's different physical features. By now, along with this class, in 3 of the classes we have discussed about the prominent 6 features of or 6 geographical physical features of India's subcontinent. Although we have discussed each and every type of feature and information related to all these features, yet one thing is remaining, their importance or their significance. Individually, mountains have their significance. One is we have already discussed about they do give the orographic rainfall. Likewise, other features do have. So let's do this thing, do this revision kind of thing in smallest overview. So let's start with that. Each region complements the other, makes the country richer in its natural resources, as mountains and plateaus are also to be considered as storehouse of resources. So in that way we are talking about. So mountains, major resources or major sources of water and forest wealth, along with the mineral wealth as well. But as compared to the plateaus do have more ratio of the minerals presence as compared to the mountains. So mountains have less ratio of the mineral presence. Talking about the plains, they are also known as granaries of the country. Granaries, the land available for grazing. Grazing, who does grazing? Animal does grazing, जिनको कि चरना बोलते हैं. The animals do eat food, so and naturally of course they do eat grass lying in the nature, that is to be known as grazing. Provide the base for early civilization, because early civilization flourished in the river valleys along with the plains itself, where there is a presence of abundance of water, particularly or water availability is there. Talking about the plateau, storehouse of minerals, played a crucial role. Crucial means important role in the industrialization of the country, because they do consist minerals, and minerals provides the raw material for the industrial sector, as in which sector we don't need iron, and iron is a mineral itself. So iron is required by each and every economic sector of India and of the rest of the part of the world as well. Then coastal region and island groups, they do provide sites for fishing and port activities can be visible. In this port activities, where loading and unloading of the water ships is done. Thus, the diverse, varied variety of physical features of the land have immense of great importance, future possibilities of development, because they comprise rich sources of water, minerals, plains for agriculture, for the establishment of industries. So that was all about our chapter number 2 in today's class. So in whole, we are summing up our chapter in today's class with this very moment itself. So what particularly we have discussed about in the today's class discussion. So we have discussed about the significance of India's different physical features of physical regions. Now is the time to recall whatever we have discussed with the help of few MCQs questions. So here is the first one. Which coastal plain is sandwiched, lying in between the Western Ghats and Arabian Sea? Without any doubt, it will be Eastern Ghats. No, not at all. It will be Western coast, because it lies between the Western Ghats and Arabian Sea. So Western coast, and if was to be lying between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal part, then it was to be considered for the Eastern coast itself. Second question. Which is the largest saltwater lake? Without any doubt, Cholika Lake. By now, you might have learned this. Last question. Which region in India is referred to as granaries of India? Granaries. Not only this region provides the agricultural land along with the fodder crop. Fodder crop, that is consumed by the animals. Told you, na? Grazing part and all that. So agriculture as well as grazing for the animals is provided by these granaries of India. So which part is known as granaries of India? Plains itself, northern plains. So that was all about our chapter 2's discussions last class. Now we are going to continue ahead. Our next class will be comprising the discussion of exercise question answers. Then we will discuss the inside question answers, of course, in the upcoming class. And after that, of course, that will be the time to start a new chapter. So till then, keep focusing on to your studies. Take care. Bye-bye.